Today we're going to identify resistors, what they look like and some of their properties, some of the things they can and can't do. This is a digital representation of a resistor. Somebody took out their graphics program and decided to make one. Not my favorite. No graphics going on here. Those are all the real McCoy. Every last one of them. That is typically used in um, panel mounting. You push this through the panel, put the nut on there. These are the terminals they get soldered to. This is the wiper terminal. This is the terminal that will work when you turn the pot fully counterclockwise. This is the terminal that gets the least resistance, I should say. When you turn it fully clockwise, that will get the least resistance. This will get the most resistance relative to this wiper right here. We'll see what a wiper looks like in a moment. Ha, there it is. So that other potentiometer turned upside down might look like this. This is the wiper that turns. When you move this wiper all the way over here, least amount of resistance will be measured between that terminal and this terminal, and the most amount of resistance will be measured between here and here. Right now, it being centered, the resistance value between that terminal and this terminal will be about equal to this terminal and this terminal. That's called a wire wound potentiometer or rheostat, depending on how you hook it up. Here's a variety of panel mounted variable resistors. All of those turn 270 degrees maximum from lock to lock. This big guy is a variable resistor. One terminal here, one terminal here. These are the terminals that connect the ends of the wire wound variable resistor. That's the wiper terminal right here. You make connection to it. There's a crank that goes over here or a motor, and will move this assembly up and down because there's gears in here. And what happens when you turn this either left-handed or right-handed, it'll move up and down this resistor and contact these exposed windings down here. Here's a couple of power resistors with heat sinks on them. Little tiny guy, when he grows up, he wants to be this big guy here. So much current goes through there and so much voltage and whatnot. They have to put screw terminals on it because the solder would probably melt. These have soldered terminals. Those have screw terminals. This is a variable resistor. I don't think so. This looks like that other variable resistor, only it's a fixed resistor, and this very well could be a heat coil. That's probably nichrome wire. We put the electricity in across here and here, and these guys will get nice and hot. That's mounted on a hunk of ceramic. More power resistors. Let's see if we can get a good look here. This one is 100 ohms with a tolerance of J, whatever that happens to be. I haven't looked that up lately. That's got a tolerance of F. That has a tolerance of J. They all look like they're 100 ohms. Oh, and obviously the wattages are different. Now that is a big resistor network he's got here. Those monstrosities are big resistors, and they've got a big fan here. Just exactly what this laboratory is doing, no idea. Here's some more resistors. These resistors, you can set them as, this is a fixed variable resistor. You can vary the resistance by making contact with these open the open windings on the resistor. Same story for all of these. But once you've set this resistor, you set it by turning that screw to clamp this wiper in place, and it's a set it and forget it arrangement. More of those large power resistors. We've seen these before in the other video. These two little guys are very special resistors. They're used for measuring current, and we'll get into that kind of thing a little bit later. I have no idea what these guys are. Somebody knows? Tell me. Again, here's some more of those variable resistors that you can set in a fixed position. That's what this clamp is for. And there's windings that are exposed to make contact with this terminal here. So you've got one end of the resistor, a terminal which you can make vary. So you can make it a fixed variable resistor, I guess you'd call it. And the other terminal. And they've taken the time to put some aluminum plates on here with some sort of fancy writing, identifying what those are. This little guy gave us all. Somebody put just too much electricity through it, and now it's a little crispy critter, but that was a resistor. Speaking of resistors, these guys are surface mount resistors. This guy's upside down, by the way. This is how they get mounted on the board. And they get identification numbers put on them. They get so small that you can't put numbers on them. You just have to know that that's what the value is, or you get out your own meter and get a good look. And that will do it for resistors for today.